something like that. Hey, Mark the Guitar Guy here. Hey, we're going to do the second section of Avicii's Wake Me Up, or at least my version of Avicii's Wake Me Up. If you've not seen the first part of this, you should go and check that out and get the coolest part, which is the intro. I think is the coolest part. So now we're going to cover the second section of that. We're going to be doing the same chords with the left hand, so not much difference there. However, right hand wise, we're doing a little bit different because we're doing the actual chorus part of the song. There's two ways of strumming this. Down, then up, down, up, which we've also covered for the verse part of it, which is down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So that's in the previous video. So you can do that for the chorus, or if you want to do what I'm doing to how I do in some gigs, I do a hillbilly feel, which just has more of a bluegrass, I guess, feel, which is this. For some reason it works really well and it gets people dancing. So, not for some reason, we know why it works. It just works. It's just awesome, that's why. So we're going to do a 2/4 pattern for that, and we're also going to be learning the lead line, which is for those people that want to cover that little aspect, which is actually, whenever I do that bit live, because I do this with a loop pedal, I get a little groove happening on the loop pedal, basically just a doosh, 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 pretty simple. And that's just handy to bring in and bring out to add more to the dance factor. And I've had places where, times where the whole bar's dancing away to this, and I'll go to that bit and they don't expect it because they go, he's just a guitar player, he's not going to do that bit. And sure enough, he does that bit, me. And it goes off. People's cheer and clap and stuff. It's kind of a cool reaction. So I do it all the time now because you want that reaction because it's kind of nice. Get the little hairs on the neck going. So we're going to do the second, the rhythm part of this first. So right hand's where the focus is for this 2/4 feel. So it's quite percussive. So the 2/4 part of it, I'm hitting the bass note on the beginning of every beat. And I'm doing a bouncing bass line for that. And I'll show you left hand in a second what's happening with that, but we'll start with the right hand. So it's A minor, and the rhythm is down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. But more importantly, the downstrokes are the important part. I'm going from the bass note to the higher notes. So I'm going low to high, or in other words, low notes to high notes. Where on the guitar itself, I'm going from the top part to the bottom part of the strings. So I'm basically aiming at a bass string and then flicking the strings on the bottom part for the downstroke, and there's a wee up, like a very feathery upstroke to get back to another downstroke. Down, down, up, down, down, up, top, bottom, or bass note, bottom, depending on how you look at it. Dun, ticka, dun, ticka, dun, ticka, dun. Go back to my rockabilly videos that I've done on strumming. That'll help you do that way better. And it's also on JAMORAMA.com if you want to check it out properly and get some a much more in-depth version of that. So if we just do that with the chords, I'm changing the bass note, so it's like almost like a. I'm kind of doing that inside the song as well. So what I'm doing there is playing the bass note, then I'm playing the E bass note, which is the kind of like a bass guitar, like a hillbilly version, doom, 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 that sort of feel. So I'm doing that in the second part of the chord. So I'm doing the bass note of the A first, then the E, which is the top string. Then I'm doing the E, the F chord. I'm going for I've got my thumb over the guitar, I'll show you that in a second more in depth, but I've got my thumb over the guitar neck to play the F note to get a nice low bass note. And I'm just hitting the bass note, and then I'm hitting either the fifth or fourth strings as the other bass note, but otherwise the rest is the same. Then I'm going to the C chord, and I'm going up to the top string, but I'm moving my third finger on my left hand. I'll show you in more depth in a second, but moving that up to the third fret of the string above to get the G note of the thing of the C chord. So I'm moving from the C note, which is the fifth string, to the sixth string. Okay, so I've got A, F, C, boom. There's two of those. There's a C, G note, C, then I sometimes, to get a bit tricky, I'll do like a different chord shape in the left hand and I'll play a B note, but we'll do that in a second. did a G there, but on the last note I'm doing a B. Slightly different feel there. So what happens there in the left hand? Let's have a look at that. So we're starting off with an A minor 7th. We're hitting the with 2 bass notes for that one. Then we're doing an F chord. But what this is basically a slightly different F chord. I use it a lot. Instead of doing a bar chord F, I use this kind of it looks lazier, but it's actually quite a technical chord. My first finger is covering 2 strings at the bottom. Then there's a 0, so it's 1, 1, 0 if you're going from the highest string. There's an open G note in there. Then the third finger is playing the 3rd fret on the 4th string. So the bottom 4 strings have this nice little ring about them. And then I've got my thumb hooking over and playing, just part of it, playing the F note, which is the bass note, on the top. Now that's a bit of a different technique. If you've never done that before, thumb over the guitar can be quite tricky. When you first do it, and when I first did it, this was really tricky and it was really difficult. I thought maybe I couldn't ever do this, but if you persevere with it, you'll be able to get that note out nicely. Then you can actually do the thing going on there. So the A minor. Now the way I pick that, I start with the bass note this time of the F, the high F, and then I do the lower F when I say higher F. Actually the lower F to the higher F musically, as in sound-wise. However, I'm playing the 6th string, then the 4th string. Then the 3rd part of it is the C chord. Now what I'm doing there is got a C chord with the left hand. I'm simply jumping with my 3rd finger. It's going up to the G note and then back down to the C. Then back to the, there's like a little G note at the end. You can either do that with the last bit, so C, G, C, G with that 3rd finger, or you can do a whole G, C, G, C, G, based on a whole G, which I'm just doing the top half of a G there because I'm only hitting the middle strings. So that's 3, 2, 0, 0, 0, and just missed the bottom string out. And then you get back in time for another A minor 7th. So that's with a G. Now I'll do the last part with a B minor, like a little B minor thing happening here, which is just one note. So that last chord we're going to do now as a variation is 2nd fret on the 5th string, then it's 0, 0, and either a little finger down or you can keep it open. Just make sure you hit only the middle strings, so it sounds like that. Hear that way it works its way down to an A minor 7th again. Quite a lot going on in there in that bluegrass feel. Almost missed it. Now just watch my thumb here. So it actually quite definitely comes off and then comes on for that F. Okay, so that's that section. That's if you want to do that version of it. Let's do now that cool little section there with the little lead line. So what I do is I stop completely, then I come right up, and I'm going to be using the 12th fret. This is right up the 12th fret, the double dots. My little finger's going to be playing those notes. Then we've also got the, what is that going to be? It's going to be the 8th, the 10th, and the 9th fret. So the notes we're going to be using are just the 12th fret, 10th fret, and 8th fret of the bottom 2 strings, okay? The riff itself starts on the 10th fret of the 2nd string. What it is, it's going to go from, I'll give you the tab for it first. This is on the 2nd string, 10, 10, 8, 10, and then we're going to go 8 on the bottom string, and then 10 back on the 2nd string. So I'll do that slowly. A bit slower again, actually. And the way, you see what I'm doing there, normally I'd have 1 finger per fret like this, but because we're stretching out to the 12th fret, we're going to use the first 2 fingers to do that riff. So the 10th fret note's going to be the 2nd finger, and the 8th fret note's always going to be the 1st finger. Okay, just get that really good. The picking for that, down, down, up, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so program that. And hear the rhythm, da, da, ga, da, ga, da, and it's quite, I keep it quite straight. I don't go, or anything like that, or anything weird. Let's keep it quite straight, like robotic. And actually, if you want to release, you can release that finger and get quite a cool effect there. So it sounds a bit more, I don't know, digital. The next part, we're going to do on the same string, on that second string, we're going to go 8, 10, 8. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're going to add 8, 10, 8 to that, which is up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up at the end there. Okay, so we're adding that 8, 10, 8. And then we're going to go, which is the last part. So that last part, if you tab that out for you, it's going to be 8, 8, 8, 10, 8, 10, all on the bottom string, or the first string. God, getting them all backwards here. So it's 8, 8, 8, 10, 8, 10, 12, 8. All on the bottom string, that last part. So we've got the whole thing, slowly. That's the first part, then that's the second part. Which is 8, 8, 8, 10, 8, 10, 12, 8. Picking for that, down, down, up, down, down, down. You'll see why as we speed that up. So there's 3 sections. First one, second one. So I'm picking every note there. And as you get faster, you might find pull-offs and hammer-ons will help a little bit, so it sounds a bit more like this. I can show you how to do that another time perhaps, but at this stage I think it's more important you get the picking right. And it's a really good exercise for the right hand. So there we have it, Avicii with all its little bits, the way I like to do it with Wake Me Up. Hopefully that's a good lesson for you guys. And if you're really enjoying this, what I'm going to be doing is a lot of these types of things, bringing out more modern songs and my versions of how they are. We're also going to be doing some classic songs, so look out for that. So classic foundation songs, which everyone should know, as well as tips and tricks and things like that too. Oh, and one other cool thing we're going to be adding, some more lifestyle stuff, more behind the scenes stuff of Mark the Guitar Guy, what I get up to during the day and how my sort of life pans out, just for those guys out there that might be interested in that sort of thing. Otherwise, if you really like my style of teaching, you should go to JAMORAMA.com. You'll check out all my foundation stuff. If you need a good foundation in playing guitar, you can then build on that foundation and become a really good guitar player. At least that's what I believe. And if you like my style of teaching, go check that out. Do subscribe and we can keep in touch. And I'd love to see you guys again soon. So stick around for my next video. We'll see you again soon.